Good morning, this is Jason Kanigan for Make Space Boring, episode number 41. This is the April 16th episode. And we have made a couple of little changes here. The first one is the Cold Star Project, the full format interview show, will be coming out twice a week starting today. So Mondays and Thursdays. I gotta say, expecting to see a hit, a negative one, on listenership for this. I think that it's going to cut the listenership of each episode in half, but we'll see. I'm going to keep talking about it, and hopefully people will realize, that it's coming out more frequently. I've got this huge backlog of episodes that I've recorded. The one with Luc Maisonobe that's coming out today, we recorded at the end of last year on December 31st. So you can see the gap for most of these things. It's a very interesting episode. I talked to Dr. Marek Ziebart ages and ages ago originally, and got my first introduction of, space situational awareness ain't the thing that I thought it was, and it's not as figured out as I thought it was. And Marek mentioned Orekit, and I said, what's that? And pounced on it as I do, and went and found out about Orekit. And I tracked down a couple of people through LinkedIn who were involved with it, and they said, no, not us. You don't want to interview us. You want to talk to Luc Maisonobe, who's the father of Orekit. And I said, all right, get me in touch with him. And so we did. We had a fun conversation at the end of last year. And Orekit is what's called a low-level flight dynamics library. So it is used by many organizations, private, corporate, and governments around the world for keeping track of space satellites. And what really intrigued me about it was not just that it existed, but this open governance model. It has like an open source governance model, which is very different than what I'm used to. So basically you could show up there, create an account, and start contributing. And as the beginning he explains it, Luc explains it, you start off as a user and you get sort of immersed in it and what's going on and what it needs. And then people can stick up their hands and say, hey, I think we need to develop this capability. And put your money where your mouth is, kind of thing, and get in there, and work gets assigned right to these folks. So pretty neat. And so that episode, it was a quick episode, but it was not the hugest topic in the world. So we kind of got through it in 25 minutes, something like that. But I enjoyed speaking with Luc, and this is a pretty neat episode to come out with. I recorded yesterday, again, a second episode with Dr. Andrew Aldrin, and Andy and I talked about his PhD thesis. He was a Soviet expert, and so our talk was how the Soviets managed to beat the Americans into space with Sputnik. And let me tell you, that was an interesting story. My history ain't that bad, and so I'm getting in there with some ideas and that, and Andy's like, no, it wasn't quite like that. The way the bureaucracy is run in the Soviet Union was a little different, and you really get this sense that space was not a priority to anybody coming out of World War II. Nobody cared, and you had these German scientists who had figured out how to launch some rockets that had been gobbled up by both sides and taken away to Moscow or New Mexico, and just kind of left there for a while, right? And so you had this in the Soviet side, this small group of enthusiasts led by a particular fellow, and Dr. Aldrin explains that whole process of how this guy was very entrepreneurial, and I got a new entrepreneurial operational, definition from Andy about what being an entrepreneur means. You don't need to have a business to be an entrepreneur, according to this definition. And that was very interesting. And so this fellow created an organization around himself in the Soviet bureaucracy to get something up into orbit. And then once they had done that, that's when the rest of the Kremlin went, oh yeah, great, let's do something about this. So coming up on the Cold Star Project, Craig Clark of Clyde Aerospace finally booked with me. Yay! That has been... he was one of the first fellows I tried to book with way back last fall. So to get the time to do that. Anyway, I'm excited to have him on. That is a small sat manufacturer that is right smack in the crosshairs of who I want to be talking to with this show. So Craig Clark will be coming up. And also, finally, to wrap up in exciting news, the second Make Space Boring conference is confirmed. It is happening. It will be Thursday, May 7th, so coming up pretty quick. 1 p.m. Eastern start time, and we're going to make it shorter this time. I want it to be about 2.5 hours. 4 hours, everybody said, was a little long. So, I don't know. I come from the online marketing world where that's just not a big thing, but, you know, let's shift and give the market what it wants. Shorter, okay. Fewer speakers. So who we've got confirmed are Bryant Baker, who's a space lawyer. We needed space law. Last time people were really, really eager to hear about space law and space policy. So I want to make sure we get at least one of those. And I know a lot of them, so we could have maybe a round table sometime. Dr. Kram Lau, astrobiologist, cool guy, good speaker. I recorded an episode of the Cold Star Project with him a week or two ago that hasn't come out yet, but really enjoyed meeting that guy, and he's going to be speaking. Dr. Marek Ziebart, space geodesy guy. What can I say about that? I just recorded with him. He is a lot of fun. We both share an interest in photography and admiration of Richard Feynman, and yeah. Marek is all about the numbers. It's space modeling. So you take a Mariba jaw and you sprinkle in a little bit more of forces and that, and they've been lifelong friends, I found out. So this is pretty cool. So the whole orbital calculation stuff, tracking, determining where things are going to go in space, that's his jam, and I'm excited to have him on. Mariba was one of the more popular speakers from last time, so I think that topic really hits the spot for our attendees. And also Bob Whearty, who is space satellite insurance expert, and this is a really interesting topic. And when we shoot our intro video, as I did last time for each speaker, when Bob explains what the motivators are for space insurance and that, the business juices should get flowing. It is a high stakes world, let me tell you, and it's upside down right now. So those of you who are interested in business are going to get a lot out of it. There's going to be that scientific side, and Graham Lau for bringing fun back. he's going to make sure we have some fun. So anyway, that's it for me. This week is evaporating fast. There's still lots to do. I don't know about you, but my schedule is still full. The data science side of this business is going crazy. Process engineering, not so much. I can't send agents out to go document people's processes and interview them because people might get sick. But the clickety-clackety of data science and people huddled over computers still goes on, and that's keeping us busy, as well as the organization of all this stuff. So I will talk to you next week.